Good morning students, welcome to the session on Python programming. Myself Swati, working as assistant professor in the department of CSC. In the today's session we will be seeing files, and the files topic we are going to see about CSV files. So how to perform reading and writing of CSV files in this session we are going to see. Now let us see what is meant by a CSV file and how to perform operation. If you want to perform the operation on the CSV file, what type of packages that we have to import. Okay. Now the first thing is CSV. The name itself is indicating CSV is nothing but comma separated values. That means here CSV is nothing but comma separated values format, and it is one of the most simple and common way in order to store tabular form of data. If you want to store tabular form of data, you will be using this CSV file. And for the CSV file, the extension is .csv. If you want to store a CSV file, we have to give the extension format, no? So that's extension format for your CSV file is .csv. Now, and the CSV file you can have the text data, and also the data is maybe of ASCII format or Unicode format. The data whatever the data that you are storing in the CSV file, it may be a readable data format. Okay, so that is actually the actual content data that you are going to place, and that data is of either ASCII format or it may be of Unicode format. And how your CSV file is going to be represented? CSV, comma separated values I am saying. So that means all the data whatever you are taking may not be separated with commas. Some other delimiters you may use. Either it may be separated with your backslash n or backslash t. Anything you can be used as a separated, but basically separate will be the comma here. That is about your CSV file. So whatever the content that you are taking, always the data is separated with commas here. See. So let us take an example. In this session, we are going to see the CSV file. CSV is nothing but comma separated value. CSV is nothing but comma separated values, and it is one of the most useful format for storing tabular kind of data. And in order to save a file in the form of CSV, we have to use the extension .csv. .csv is the extension of your CSV files. Suppose, and whatever the data that you are keeping in the CSV file is actually a text data, and it is going to use both the Unicode characters as well as ASCII values. So ASCII or Unicode characters it is going to consider. Now, coming to how your data is being represented. Whatever the data that you are taking, always it is going to separate with commas. So see the example here. I am having column 1 name, column 2 name, column 3 name. The first one represents, for example, I want to store a student details like serial number, name. Serial number, name of the students I want to store. Okay. The top column, whatever the row, first row, whatever it is indicating the names of your columns. Okay. So first row is indicating the names of your columns. Whatever the data you may keep, always those has to be separated with here commas. Okay. Next, the first row indicates the data that is corresponding that column. Again, the next data element is representing the data of the second column. Okay. Like that we will be representing the data here in this CSV file. See here, serial number, name, city I want to store here, and name of the value is, first value is 1, and name is Michael, and city is New Jersey. In the second is 2 number, name is Jack and he is living in California. These are the details I want to store here, and all these details whatever you are taking is going to be separated with commas. Okay, that is about your CSV file. And where do these CSV files comes from? So I am saying here comma separated values. So whenever you want to store a data in the file, generally you won't separate everything with the commas, no. So but where this kind of data is coming from means, So if you are going to handle large sets of data, generally the data that you are exporting from that files will be in this format. Okay, see here. CSV files are normally created by the programs that handles large amount of data. Okay, so and these are very easy for us to export this type of data. Okay, and these are convenient way to export data from spreadsheets or even from a database. And how to import the CSV files? If you want to work with the CSV files, first you have to import the package that is CSV. Now to import that, you are going to use import followed with CSV. Okay, if you are writing import CSV, that means if you want to work on CSV files, that means if you want to read data from the CSV file or write data to the CSV file, you have to use this import CSV. Okay, so in order to work with CSV, always we have to perform importing of your CSV files. Now I want to perform reading of data from the CSV file. Okay, I want to perform reading of data from the CSV file. Now how to do this? So in order to read the CSV file in Python, we are having a method called as csv.reader function. This csv.reader function is used for reading your CSV files. Okay, now see. So already I told you that in order to work with CSV files, always we have to import this CSV. Then if you want to work with files, the one way we discussed it, that is with function we can use. So with, I'm going to open the file in order to read that. So open function, in order to perform operation, we have to first open the file. What file we are opening here? CSV file. Let us consider people is the file name, and always the CSV files will have the extension .csv. And what operation I am going to do here? Read operation. So the mode of the file is here read mode. Now I am going to read the contents from my CSV file, csv.reader of file, so which is reading the contents of your CSV file. It is going to create an object. Reader object is going to be created here. And you can read the values that were present in your CSV file row by row. Okay, so in order to get the values value by value, so you can go for a loop. Okay, for row in reader, that means whatever the object that we are created, reader object, every time you are performing iteration, and what you are doing, you are reading the contents from your CSV file, and you are going to perform displaying operation. So print of row means whatever the rows that we had read, that we are going to be displayed. Let us consider our people.csv is the file that we had read, and the content that is present in the file already we had seen, name, age and the profession. Those are the column names we are having, and the content is Jack 23 and Dr. Miller 22 and engineer. So how your loop is going to run here? So first I'm opening your CSV file in read mode, and I'm creating here object. Okay, reader object is going to be created, and then I'm getting the value by value. Okay, so how you can perform getting value by value? For row in reader, print row. So first row, that is name, age and profession, will be printed. Again when it is incrementing, then Jack 23 doctor will be printed. Then all the rows that were present. The third one, that is Miller 22 and engineer, will be printed. So in this way you can perform reading of content by using from your CSV file, and the function that we are going to use is csv.reader function we have to use. Okay, so here you are going to read the data where the data is separated with commas. That means the delimiter whatever you are using is here comma. So if you want to perform the reading of data with comma delimiter, this is the process we are doing. So CSV files means not only will be having the separator as commas, you may have different separators like spaces you may have, or you may have the format of quotations you may have, or you will be having a white space, any type of delimiters you may have. Okay, so we'll be seeing how to read if your data contains different types of delimiters now. So already I told you that you may have any kind of delimiters, not only the separator, you will be having delimiters like /t or comma or something, right? Now I want to read the CSV file with the delimiter /t, that means tab space I am having as delimiter. Now we'll see how to do this. So before working with CSV file, what we'll do, we have to import that CSV. No? So first we are importing our CSV, and we have to open that file. So in order to perform opening of your file, what method we'll be using? Open will be using. And what type of file here? The name of the file is people.csv I'm working with. So I'm opening. In what mode I'm going to open? Read mode I'm going to open. Okay. So first we open the file. Then in the CSV reader object, so CSV reader is the function that we have to use in order to read the CSV file. So in that we are mentioning the delimiter. What is the delimiter I'm going to use here? /t. So I'll be mentioning here the delimiter /t here. /t is the delimiter I'm going to use, and I have to mention over here. Okay. Then every time I'm going to read, so here what is happening? CSV.reader is going to create an object, and that is handled by your reader. So every time whatever the value that is present in the reader, I'm going to read from that. Okay. So print of row, whatever the values that were present in that CSV file are going to be displayed. So that is about reading of your CSV file with delimiter /t. So instead of having the delimiter /t, I'm having another format, that is spaces I'm having. Okay. So I want to read the file with initial spaces. That means before my data, for example, serial number, name, let us consider some city. These are the things I'm having in my file. Okay. Now serial number is 1 and name is, let us consider some Jack, and city is some, let us consider he belongs to New Jersey. So what we will be doing here, I am saying that reading of CSV file with spaces. The delimiter that we are going to use here is spaces. Priorly we had used comma, then we had used delimiter /t. Now the initial space is the one we are going to use as delimiter. So whenever you are reading the data, that initial space will be avoided here. Now to do that, we'll be seeing now. So reader is equal to csv.reader file comma delimiter is equal to /t, initial space is equal to true. If you want to read the CSV files with initial space, now in your CSV, so first we'll be reading the CSV file in read mode, then we are creating the object. So what are the parameters that we have to pass for your CSV reader file? Means the name of the file. So already we kept here in file comma initial space. With initial spaces I want to read, no, so that initial space value has to become true here. So initial space is equal to true, I'll be writing. Okay. Now whatever the values that were present in your file are going to be read. In this way we'll be performing reading of your CSV files with initial spaces. Now reading of your CSV files with quotations. Okay. I told you that you can read your CSV files even with quotes. Okay. So see here, just we'll be importing your CSV file. First we'll be opening your file in read mode. Okay. Then file comma, so I want to read here with quotes. No, quoting is equal to csv.quote all. This is the method I have to use here. That means it is going to read which were present in the quotes, and skip initial space is equal to true. Okay. We are not handling here any spaces here. Initial spaces we are not going to handle. So skip initial space is equal to true we are doing. Okay. And every value that is that we are having in this, that is holding by your reader object file, is going to read, and we are going to print value by value. See the output here. So see here, serial number, name comma quotes. Okay. And whatever the content that we are reading is present in the form of quotes. See. So see all the output, every output will be containing the data in the form of quotes. So that is about your reading of CSV files with quotes. Now reading of CSV files with dialect. For example, I want to read a file where the file contains delimiters, initial spaces, even quotes also. Okay. Now how to perform this kind of reading of file? So just I am going to import my CSV file and I am going to create my dialect, and my dialect is consisting of delimiter as slash. That means instead of comma or something, I am having here delimiter as slash, and even I have to skip my initial spaces. So that's why I am making here skip initial space argument as true, and also I am having quotes in my data. So that also I am going to read here. Okay. So first I am making my dialect. Then what I am doing here, So I'm opening my file. Let us consider my name of the file is office.csv. So I want to perform here reading of your CSV file. No, the mode will be here read mode. Now CSV.reader is going to use for reading of your CSV file. Now dialect, already I created a dialect, no, that I have to pass here. Dialect is equal to my dialect. So what does my dialect contains here? Three parameters we are passing in the my dialect. One is delimiter, so that means this delimiter slash, even skip initial spaces, and even if you have quotations, we are going to read. How we are going to perform means in this way you are going to do. So I want to display all the values. So just I'm iterating my loop, and finally I'm going to display the content here. See, ID, name, email, some name, again ID, name, email, all these things we are getting. So now we are reading your CSV files with all these delimiters. Okay, if you want to read a file with more than the required, so that means if you are want to read a file with a combination of something like a delimiter or with a combination of initial spaces or something, then you have to create your own dialect, and we have to import the dialect into your file, and then we have to perform the reading of your CSV file. This is the process we have to do here. Next, I want to read my CSV file, and I want to work with what type of data it is holding is dictionary type of data it is going to hold. Okay, so how to do this? Reading of CSV file with csv.dictReader is the method I have to. So I'm going to read here CSV files, where the CSV files contains a dictionary. So I want to read here dictionary kind of data. Okay, so how to do this means I have to use csv.dictReader method in order to read the files from dictionary. See here, in order to work with your CSV, just already we know that we have to import your CSV file, type of the file, and more we are mentioning. So what method we have to apply here? csv.dictionary-reader. So now how we are going to get your data means in the format of dictionary. For example, see here, serial number, this is the content I am having. Okay, serial number, name, serial number and name is there. Serial number is 1, and let us consider name is some Jack, and 2, and name is some XYZ is your name. Okay, now how you are going to get output if it is kind of dictionary reader format? See, serial number colon 1, name comma name colon Jack. In the same way, serial number 2, just we are getting the output like a key value pair, and name comma name colon XYZ. In this format you are going to get if you are using this dictionary format, dictionary reader. Okay, so in order to read the content from your in the form of dictionary format, just we'll be using the method that is csv.dictReader. Now writing your CSV file, writing content into the CSV. Previously what we had done, we are having a CSV file and I want to read the CSV file in Python. Okay, so we are using this reading CSV file so that you can perform reading of data from that file, and whatever the data we read, just we perform the displaying operation here, right there, right. Now I want to write the content into my CSV file. This operation will also be supported in your Python. So to do this also, always we have to perform importing of your CSV. So first I am importing here CSV file. Okay, next, to perform any operation on the file, always we have to open the file. No, so I'm using the method open. What file I'm going to open? The name of the file is protagonist.csv. This is the name of the file. What mode I have to open here? Write mode I have to open, since I'm writing content into my file, and new line. So in the files we had seen that open is having different types of parameters, no, like buffering parameter, name of the file, mode, buffering parameter, encoding technique, all this, and those are all optional parameters. So in that, just I'm mentioning new line is equal to space. Okay, this is my one of the optional parameter I'm taking. Okay, now I'm going to write content into the file. The method that you are going to use here is csv.write. csv.write. So In order to write contents into your CSV file, you have to use the method csv.writer. csv.writer.of file, and it is going to return an object, and this object is going to be held by this writer. Okay, and now I have to insert row by row into my CSV file. So for that you are going to use the method writer.writerRow. So this method is going to place a content into your CSV file, writer.writeRow. Okay, so the first line, obviously I told you that CSV file contains the first line as the name of your columns. So let us consider name of the columns or serial number, name and protagonist. That is, this is the first name of the columns I am taking. I am writing the second row. Okay, second row is the serial number is 1, Lord of the Rings is the movie name, and protagonist is Frodo Baggins, and third one is, again I am writing another name, 2, Harry Potter is the name of the movie and Harry Potter is the protagonist name. Okay, so what type of content you are placing here? How will be your CSV file now? SN movie protagonist, next 1 to Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins, Harry Potter, Harry Potter. This is your CSV file. So in the file name protagonist.csv, you will be having this content now. Okay, so to write a content into your CSV file, what method we have to use? csv.writer method. And to write each and every line by line, if you are going to write now, how to insert row by row into your CSV file means writer.writeRow. Okay, this writer.writeRow is going to insert row by row into your CSV file. Now we'll see. So previously what we had done, we had inserted row by row. No, instead of inserting row by row, I want to insert all the rows at a time into your CSV file. Now we'll see how to do this. So CSV_row list is equal to, just I'm mentioning here, the first row is serial number, name, protagonist, and the movie names, just like a list I'm passing here. Okay, now I'm opening the file in the CSV mode. Then after that csv.writer.file, so its object is going to be created. Now all rows at a time I'm going to insert. No, first what I had done, I created the list of rows that has to be inserted, and that I'm going to keep here. Just simply I'll be writing csv_row list, where you are going to insert all the rows at a time into your CSV files. Earlier, if you want to keep one by one, what we had done, csv.writer_rows, so it can keep only one row. Again, if you want to keep another row, we'll be writing like that. No, instead of doing this, just you can create like this row list. You are going to create data of type list, and that we are going to pass to your row writer_rows method. Okay, so that you can keep all the data at a time there. I want to store the data where my data consists of some delimiters. Okay, /t is the delimiter I want to use. Okay, this kind of data I want to keep in my CSV file. See here, just I'll be opening the file. In write mode I am opening the file. Now file comma delimiter I have to keep pass here. What is the delimiter I want to keep here? /t is the delimiter, that also I am passing. Then just I'll be placing all the rows row by row here. So in order to keep the values row by row, simply we'll be writing writer.writeRow method, so which will keep the content of CSV file row by row. So till now we had seen how to work with CSV files by importing your CSV. So instead of using importing your CSV, you can also work with CSV file by importing your pandas. Okay, so already pandas is nothing but it is also a library where you can perform operations in a faster manner. No, so how to import that pandas means just simply import pandas. So instead of writing pandas every time when you are working with pandas, just I am using here aliasing. So to perform aliasing, the keyword that we are going to use is as. So instead of writing pandas every time, simply I will be writing like PD. So import pandas as PD, which is going to perform importing of your pandas library. Then I want to read your CSV file. Just simply it will be writing pd.read underscore CSV is the method which is going to read your CSV files. So the name of your CSV file is people.csv. So instead of using that import CSV and reader function to do that, just simple with one statement also you can perform reading of your CSV files if you import your pandas library. Next, see. So you can also write your content into your CSV file with pandas also using pandas. Now we are seeing here. Import, first we will be importing the pandas. Now I am going to create a data frame. Okay. So anyway we will be learning the pandas in the next session. So in the pandas we will be having three different types of data types like series, data frame and panel. So data frame we are using here in order to store the data into your library. See here. So df data frame is equal to, I am creating here a data frame and the data frame consists of name and age. Okay, and name of the columns are name and age I am taking here. Next, just I will be writing into my CSV file, no, just data frame dot. So to convert into CSV, just we will be using the method to underscore CSV. If you want to read, just we will be using read underscore CSV, which is going to read your CSV file. If you want to place your CSV file, we will be using to underscore CSV. So the name of the file is person.csv. In this person.csv, we will be containing all this data. The person.csv will be containing this entire data. Okay. So now we are going to get the data in the form of table. Okay, where the table contains name and age, and you will be getting the output like this. Name comma age, Jack comma 24 and Rose comma 22. So this is your content that you are going to keep in this person.csv. Okay, so this is about your reading of CSV file and writing to CSV file using pandas. So in this session we had seen the topics like what is CSV and how we are going to get the data, CSV type of data from where we are getting, and then we had seen how to read your CSV files. So if you are having different types of delimiters, how to read, and also we had seen if you are having initial spaces, and if your data consists of all initial spaces, quotations, even other delimiters, so you can create a dialect and we can read the entire data. That is your reading of your CSV files. To work with CSV files, always we have to import CSV. Okay, see, you have to import your CSV module in from Python, and then we had seen a writing of your CSV file. So you can write at a time entire file, or you can write line by line into your CSV. Okay, that things we had seen. The last thing is how to work with CSV file by importing your pandas library. Okay, either you can work with CSV by using your pandas. Okay, so that's about your today's session. Thank you.